Bible scholar corrects black Hebrew Israelites on the mark of the beast. Welcome out to PTE Godcast, where we push the envelope. Like, share, subscribe, and all praise to the Most High. We got another one just like the other one. Big G's in the building. Dan McCullen goes in on the mark of the beast, and I guess he's got some questions. Somebody, some Hebrew Israelites are flooding his channel, not necessarily flooding, but asking about the mark of the beast on his channel. And so he's made several videos about the mark of the beast. He's saying everything in Revelation is fulfilled. He's a full preterist. This is very important because a lot of people believe it's end time prophecy now. Of course, I'm familiar with the black Hebrew Israelites and their stance on the mark of the beast. While some say it is the mark of the beast is sin, the mark of the beast is Christianity, and then others say the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, which is more compatible and more likely or emphatic, really, to be the mark of the beast. I would take that stance. Nevertheless, and there's Christians who take the stance, and there's non-believers who say the Bible has a point. Look, it's happening now. So he is going in on those who believe it is the RFID microchip. And so let's just take a listen, y'all. Let's break it down.
So the first reason that this is not the mark of the beast is because that microchip has nothing to do with what Revelation says the mark of the beast will be. Second reason is because the mark of the beast is going to be a counterfeit version of what Deuteronomy 6:8 commands folks to do. The third reason is because the mark of the beast is really just coinage, and it's a reference to Nero Caesar.
So we're going to play that back. He said a lot. But he said the mark, he goes into the image. He's saying that's Nero's image on the coin, and the name is Nero, and that the mark is the actual money, the coinage. Okay, let's run it back and let's let it play and unpack this. We got to unpack it.
Second reason is because the mark of the beast is going to be a counterfeit version of what Deuteronomy 6:8 commands folks to do. The third reason is because the mark of the beast is really just coinage, and it's a reference to Nero Caesar. And there was a tradition or a rumor that Nero had not really died, or had died and was going to come back to life, or was going to come back from exile or something like that. And that was the threat that the book of Revelation is talking about. Now, the fourth reason that this is 1000% not the mark of the beast is that the book of Revelation is not about the future. The book of Revelation is a first century apocalyptic document that is exhorting first century Christians to faithfulness in the face of Roman persecution, whether real or imagined. And so when it's talking about the mark of the beast, it's talking about this idea of Nero coming back and imposing Roman rule on Christians and persecuting Christians. And so this is all symbolism referring to this idea that Nero was going to come back. It is not anything about the future, not even the 2nd century CE, absolutely not the 21st century CE. So this is 1000% not the mark of the beast, and not ever going to be the mark of the beast.
So he's saying this right here is not the mark of the beast. And we're going to come back here in a second. This is not the mark of the beast. As you can see, this is an individual about to pay with his hand here.
When this guy made his payment at the shop, he casually tapped his hand on the scanner, and to the cashier's surprise, the payment went through, leaving him stunned. What he didn't know was that the guy had a tiny chip implanted in his hand called an RFID chip, and it works in a way similar to a credit card, just with more features. The chip is inserted with a small injection and sits just under the skin, which is later programmed using a phone. After that, it's like having a hidden superpower with which you can unlock doors, make payments, and even open your car doors. When this guy made his payment at the shop, he casually tapped his hand on the
Dan is saying that that is not the mark of the beast, and he's saying that the mark is just the image of the mark is near coinage. Nero's coin from the Roman Empire monetary system. Okay, now I want to see if that makes sense of what the Bible is saying, though. Like I said, there's different understandings within the Black Hebrew Israelite community. The mark of the beast being sin, the mark of the beast being Christianity, the mark of the beast being the RFID chip. So in Revelation 16, because he's saying that the mark of the beast is Nero's money, which Roman Empire money with Nero's face on it. Now, we have to make it make sense, everybody. Does it match with the Bible? Is it cohesive with the Bible? Can we marry that understanding with the actual text? So we're going to see. And he says all of Revelation is fulfilled. He's a full preterist. So we want to know. Revelation 16:1, I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your way and pour out your vials of wrath upon the earth. And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore on the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them that worshipped his image. So when did this happen in the first century? Or what is it metaphorically speaking of? If these so whoever had the Roman Empire's money, like they just broke out in boils? Or what is the metaphor here? The second poured out his vial upon the sea, and the sea became blood. Do we see that happen in the first century? The rivers and fountains became blood. And then the fourth angel, verse 8, poured out his vial on the sun, and it scorched men with fire. One could say, oh yeah, that's the fire, the great fire of Rome. And they repented not. And the fifth angel poured out his seat on the beast, and the kingdom was full of darkness. Was the Roman Empire ever full of darkness, where it was just no light, no candles being lit, like how the Most High did in Egypt? And they blasphemed. And the sixth angel poured out his vial on the great river Euphrates, and the Euphrates River dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the east. Which kings of the east? Well, first of all, did the Euphrates River dry up in the first century, and then the kings of the east go through there to fight at Armageddon? Wait a second. This guy is saying Armageddon happened. That's why when you think of everything that Revelation is talking about, and for a full preterist to say it happened already in the first century, not even second century CE, and we got to say Armageddon happened? How? Where? Where's the records? Verse 14, the spirit of devils. Okay, verse 16. And he gathered them together in a place called Armageddon. Armageddon, a great city divided into 12 parts. This is just ridiculous. It's really laughable. Revelation 14 says, anybody who had the mark of the beast is getting burnt with fire. Who got destroyed? Who got destroyed and judged for spending Nero's money? Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, or receive his mark in his forehead or his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out with mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone day and night in the presence of the Lamb. And their smoke ascended up forever. So they go to the lake of fire. Where was the lake of fire in the first century CE? Revelation 20 also talks about people reigning with Christ who reject the mark of the beast, and they reign with him for 1,000 years. Revelation 20:2. When was Satan bound for 1,000 years if this is fulfilled at the first century? Was he bound from 1000 BC to 0? And then, when did Gog and Magog, Revelation 20:8, when did Gog and Magog surround Israel and then fire came down on them and devoured them? So yeah, like the lake of fire, there are some things in Revelation where it's end time prophecy. Fulfilled in the first century. Yes. It talks about 70 AD. It even recaps the birth of the Messiah, Revelation 12, and the Israelites having to flee. But Revelation is mostly eschatological, end time prophecy. It just doesn't make sense at all for a full preterist. It's just crazy. Come on, my main man, Dan. My main man, Dan, what are you doing? And I reached out to Dan about some things. You know, I like his perspectives and his input on certain things. But right here, he's off. He's off. When we look at the description of the mark of the beast and the Greek word there, it's a literal physical thing. And you can't buy or sell without it. And that has to be the RFID chip. It has to be something physical that can be seen. Not immaterial, because how are you going to buy or sell or trade? So it makes more sense that it is emphatically talking about the RFID chip. And that's my stance. And if you just have a little bit of understanding, a rudimentary level, then you would come to that conclusion as well. But anyway, y'all, this is all I got for y'all today. Don't take that mark of the beast RFID chip. It's out right now already, but it's going to be mandated. It's going to be mandated. All right. And so stay strong. The hour of temptation did not happen in the first century. The hour of temptation is to come. Peace, blessings, and I'm out. PTE.